Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to wave on to this committee as well. Last Congress, my good friend, Ms. Dingell, who was just here, and I introduced H.R. 3413 with the Access Act, which was eventually rolled into the Self-Drive Act and passed on a truly bipartisan basis by this committee and the House by unanimous vote. The Access Act established an advisory council to bring experts together to help advance mobility for senior citizens and those underserved by traditional public transportation. Particularly in my home state of Florida, senior citizens play an enormous role, and we are no stranger to some of the daily challenges they face. I'm grateful to hear that my provisions in the Access Act are part of the ongoing negotiations. I remain hopeful that we can get this done in a truly bipartisan, bicameral fashion. Chair Schakowsky, I'd like to offer this letter. I have it in here. A letter from the American Highway User Alliance supporting our legislative efforts to enable the development and deployment of self-driving vehicles in the U.S. So I'd like
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you so much. I have a question for Mr. Riccobono. I'm so thankful, again, for your attendance today and your voice for the mobility community at NFB. Do you foresee, the question is, do you foresee, sir, this technology improving mobility for our seniors much in the same way that it does for your particular community?
Thank you for the question, Congressman. Absolutely. Again, the possibilities of this technology has crossover to so many areas, not just disability, but distracted driving, all sorts of other areas where having a human in the loop of the driving process creates difficulties. And I think that this technology has the power to not just empower the people, but really create economic connections that we really can't easily anticipate today, and societal benefits that are really going to be unanticipated.
Thank you very much. As a follow-up, your testimony mentions the need for non-visual accessibility designs, and I know you elaborated on that in the questioning. And my bill would establish the advisory council at NHTSA to provide guidance specifically for these types of issues. Can you elaborate on the need for both technical guidance as well as best practices to incorporate the mobility community?
Yeah, so on the technical piece, we so often in design, what we see is that people create design structures, interfaces that require vision. And we know that that's just not going to work for blind people. And so blind people need to be included in that because especially today, the go-to design that people think of for blind people is you should talk to things. Well, if you have ever tried to talk to your iPhone or your Android, you know why you don't want to rely on that for your car, at least if you want to get somewhere quickly. So we need multiple interfaces, but that's not just enough. We need to make sure that the schemes for regulating these vehicles and use of these vehicles don't also keep individuals or classes of individuals out because of the way they're designed. So having people with disabilities, elected leaders of people with disabilities to represent the voice and the experience of that community, as well as seniors and others, is critical to getting the design right. And finally, the innovation that comes from having all those people involved is really huge, and I think will benefit everybody.
Very good. Mr. Basello and Shapiro, I guess I have a few seconds. What do you think this technology will mean for the senior community?
I think it will be very significant and transformational. The opportunity to extend the ability to be mobile and do that safely will be significant, I believe.
Very good. And again, we don't have the public transportation like we should in our area, particularly in the state of Florida. So that I think it would be very beneficial if we do it right. Mr. Shapiro, would you like to comment on that?
I agree. It'll be transformational for many seniors. It will actually cut down on accidents just by taking a certain percent of the population that perhaps should not be driving out of the pool. I mean, those that really should not be driving and may still be because they need their independence. And we have to respect the fact that that's what seniors want. This is what's empowering about it, and I think it'll be transformational.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Before I can adjourn the committee,